What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to the channel. It's Sunday fun day for some of y'all. I hope y'all are having a fun day. I know around here school starts tomorrow, so for some of y'all it ain't so fun. Got to get prepared to start that prepared. Got to prepare to start that old routine again. And for those, I don't have any school age children. For me, I'm not worried about the kids because my kids are grown. Shout out to almost being an empty nester. They still at home, but they're not going to school tomorrow. So, you know, I do know, like around here, like I don't know about where y'all live, but where I live over here, it's a problem. Traffic is a problem. Traffic is a problem on a day to day, but traffic is especially a problem when school starts. I don't know. People be on their routine where, oh, my mic isn't hooked up. Hold on. While I'm doing this, y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you. And so anyway, like I was saying, around here, traffic is a problem. And, when school starts, the people act like they've never been through this before. They get settled in. I can leave a little bit later because, school's out and now you got to get up and do it earlier. Hey, Shayna. Shayna is back. She ain't going nowhere. I'm so happy to hear that. She's one of my faves. So if y'all want some entertainment about these Huntsville people and many of the same things I talk about, she gets into BMF. Girl, when are you doing BMF? Because I have to come see what y'all talking about because that's a conversation that I'm, having by myself. Hey, El Cid. So yeah, I was just talking about like, how the traffic is to be absolutely nuts during time when it's time to go back to school. But, we'll manage through that. And, for those of us that don't have to worry about school tomorrow is Sunday fun day. So hopefully we're going to have some fun over here for, I don't know, the next 45 minutes. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. And like my girl El Cid says, like, subscribe, share, do all the things. And let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's season 10. It's episode 4. You irritated by BMF too? I feel like I'll be irritated and entertained at the same time. But one thing I will say about BMF, Meech is not an actor. Young Meech, not Big Meech. I wish they hadn't fallen out because I really would have liked to see what would have happened like if they would have kept this relationship going. Maybe they'll figure out a way to mend things. 50 is a hard one to mend with, I'm imagining. But anyway, see, when I lived up north, school started after Labor Day. But, and I feel like that's an up north thing. Down here, because of the hurricanes, because this is the time of year, it's August. This is the time of year where we be having our fingers crossed that the ocean just stays in the ocean and don't bring its ass over here on the land. I'm in the middle, so I don't live next to the water, but it's still hurricanes, You would think, I guess you never get used to them. They're horrible. They're just horrible. So we're in the worst part of hurricane season. So that's why school starts, I think, so early, just in case them kids have to miss a week or so of school based on whatever the Mother Nature is doing. They got time on the other side. I feel like there was a year where it was really bad and we had one hurricane right after another, so they changed it. So they get out in May and they go back in August. And it's hot as hell. They're going to be sitting out at the bus stop melting. Anyway, what y'all sipping on? I'm sipping on peach juice. Shout out to Portia. I be in my wine glass. Y'all can't see it. I be in my wine glass drinking juice, y'all. I don't care if y'all think it's ghetto. Some of y'all said it was ghetto. I don't care. If I sit up here and drink wine in front of this ring light, I might fall out while I'm in the middle of this review. Love and Marriage Huntsville. How are y'all enjoying the season so far? I feel like it's just a comfortable place and that's all. Like nothing really be happening over here, but at the same time, we've been here with these people for so long. Like here we are. Starbucks getting energy. Oh my God. I'm so mad. Chris Brown was already here. I've never seen Chris Brown, and I'll be having issues with being bothered with these young kids when they go somewhere. But yeah, but please take pictures. Please, like, let us know that you're having fun at the show. Because I've seen people going to Chris Brown, and it's one that I won't be engaging in. He was here and now he's gone. So, yeah, let's get into this show. So, the conversation between the Scotts continued. They're still sitting at the dinner table, and Marceau and Kimmy are both telling Maurice like how he makes a difference between the kids, between Jalen and Monster. And first of all, Kimmy, I don't know why your face is all twisted up because you definitely are the biggest part of this problem for me. I just, I don't know why you're sitting there all astonished and shocked. And Maurice doubles down on his parenting the boys like this is how it's supposed to be. And, if they turned out to be good kids and if I hadn't been the kind of parent I am, you know what I'm saying, then they wouldn't have turned out how they turned out. He has no remorse. Kimmy allowed this to happen and she stayed with this man. So whatever energy she's giving right now is irritating the hell out of me because, what Kimmy were we seeing in the very beginning? She just seems so together and, independently strong. And it's none of that. None of that is going on. She's the exact opposite of what I thought she was. She's actually just like Tisha, just maybe more poised. But now that, I see through her and I can't unsee it. She said this conversation has been had many times. Many times she's had a conversation with this man that she wanted to marry about how he makes a difference between her child and his child. And I've only seen love come from Kimmy towards Monster, so that's upsetting. But again, I don't see Maurice having such a great relationship with Monster either. You said Kimmy always, child, I can't see. Kimmy has always put her man over her child. She might be worse than Tisha. Yeah, based on what we're hearing and seeing now, I'm feeling some type of way. She said Maurice values Marceau's opinion, so somehow some nugget of what he's supposed to be saying is supposed to infiltrate that big hard ass head that Maurice has. But I mean, I guess that's unfortunate that you feel like he's listening to Marceau because he values his opinion. And what does that mean? He has no value in what Kimmy has to say? Clearly not. I'm starting to wonder. I don't think he values Kimmy much at all. After he was requiring her to bend over and make her knees touch her elbows while she was in the middle of cancer treatment, Maurice is definitely worse than Marceau. Meanwhile, Tisha's sitting there looking beautiful, making sure she got her light. Did you think Tisha looked cute? I was like, dang, Tisha looked pretty. The highlight was lighting. The hair was, giving you every bit of Ross. Whoever is Kimmy's glam, great job. Great job on the glam, Kimmy. Not Kimmy, Tisha. Tisha's glam. Tisha's glam is doing a damn thing. Tisha been real cute. I don't know, value or no value. I didn't see any nuggets like infiltrating that enormous cranium. So, Ken and Trisha have a photo shoot together for her birthday party. Do y'all want to have another person in your picture for your birthday party? I mean, I could see having a picture of them together for whatever reason. I'm not inclined to have a birthday picture with my photo like posted all over the place, but this is a Ken and Trisha thing. And what they like to do is get their picture taken together. I guess they're marketing themselves as this muscle couple. She talks about a gym a lot. We'll get to that. Anyway, it's her birthday photo shoot. And she walks in the room acting nervous or pretending to be nervous. Why does she do that? 1 minute she's all feisty, shoving divorce papers in Marquez's face. And now she's over here acting like this, frail little church bunny that's scared to walk in the room with her Daisy Dukes on and her halter top. Absolutely not. That's what Shayna said. Her birthday is for herself. So she don't want to get it. Was that the same studio where Martell was in that bathtub? Is that just the local? Because that studio looked very, yeah, back in the day. I feel like with the way the iPhones and things work, and you could throw your own background, is there really a need to do that just for the birthday party? Like, I'm not going to discount photographers because I think, it's a skill that you need for certain occasions, but certainly not to post up those pictures that they had at that birthday party. They could have did that with their phone. I bet you that her son and her daughter both know how to get good angles and use filters. They over here making up scenes, taking cowboy couple photos for her birthday. And Ken is so big, like he really overshadowed Trisha in the picture. It was like a little bitty Trisha and a humongous Ken. He's not even like real life size. It doesn't seem like. Strange. Where's his sleeves? Why is does his sleeves not, does his shirts not make sleeves that big? Because his sleeves were cut out. And I was distracted by what the hell is that? Is that your sense of style? I feel like it would have looked better with the sleeves on. Like, we've seen your muscles, bro. We know, clothes on, clothes off. We know you a big joker. But can you, like, sometimes just put on clothes? Find yourself a tailor. His friend is a big joker, too. Is that all y'all know? I would hate to see their posse coming up. I bet you the Scott shut up if all them guys come over there, have a conversation. He blocking her in the picture, can't even see the girl. So after they have their photo shoot, she looked cute. Her body is so banging. I'm serious. Yes, he did wear that shirt to the party. And I feel like, he cut some more of the sleeves off. Anyway, they want to sit down and talk about this Marquez and this divorce again. And Ken is sitting up here painting this picture about just once this divorce is final, he can just, we probably won't even see him anymore. He'll probably just disappear and our life will be perfect. And she's sitting there like, yeah, I agree. As if she wasn't in complete control of this situation. At the end of the day, Trisha could have been divorced if she wanted to. And we keep having these conversations over and over, not just these last 4 episodes, because that conversation has come up in every single episode so far. That's all they have is this conversation about why she isn't divorced yet. But my question is, why isn't she divorced yet? Like last season, it was, did she go to Martell's house or didn't she go to Martell's house? Now, either way, if she went to Martell's house or not, she was married when she did it because this girl been married to Marquez since they were in high school. I'm tired of her act. She acting like she just, girl, you could have been got a divorce. Marquez don't have no money. And I don't think he really wants to be married to her, to be honest, except for, this TV show. Y'all said you didn't even see him before. He was not a problem till these cameras came up. Put the cameras down, Ken. That might be the solution because her being married wasn't a solution. It wasn't a problem when you met her. You knew she was married. You slid on in there anyway. That wasn't an issue. Now it's an issue. Give me a break. Whose house did you move into, Ken? Did you move into Marquez's house? Because this house that y'all are living in right now is the one that you just bought. But for the last 4 years, you've been living in the house that Marquez was the one that got? And he wasn't a problem when you moved in his house? Now he's a problem? Stop it. They both going to be 38. For her 38 special, that's what she's calling her birthday. Why do we do that? I didn't have no names. I didn't have no names for any of my birthdays. I was just happy to have one and keep it moving. But anyway, this is her 38 special. That's the theme of her birthday. And for her 38 special, she plans to put whatever drama with Marquez behind her. And I would like to know how, Sway. How, Sway, are you putting it behind you? What does that mean? You just gonna, not invite him to the party? Or, because listen, if it looked like a public place, if he wanted to be at that party or knew about it, he sure wouldn't have no problems walking up in there. But I feel like after last week, when Ken put that tap down on that ass, he might just stay gone for a little bit. They have nothing else going on besides Marquez, like, and their gym that never was. I want to know what she means by put it behind her. It's definitely not behind her because he was just walking in their house unannounced last week. Now all of a sudden she wants to put it behind her. She could have been put it behind her. It's been how many years now? 8 years? 10 years? 12 years? The kids finna leave the house, child. So Maurice and Marceau and Jalen, you got to talk slow when you say all these M names. Otherwise, you sound a fool. So Maurice and Marceau and Jalen, they meet up for another unnecessary conversation because what are we trying to convince Jalen of? Honestly, at this point, what is it that Maurice wants to have happen here? Besides for him to convince everyone that he's right and they're wrong. I feel like that's why he's here. Jalen is a grown man. I don't believe he's out here longing for the approval of Maurice or longing to spend time with him. If he feel like Jalen knows exactly who he is, and he don't really probably want to be bothered with Maurice anyway. After how he did Kimmy after that cancer situation, I feel like Jalen probably don't really see it for Maurice at all. But for the sake of his mother's feelings, he gonna go ahead and run with it. Jalen apparently has an investment property that he's working on and hasn't invited Maurice over to see it. Maurice is waiting for an invitation. And I'm like, why would you be waiting for an invitation? Like, why wouldn't you be like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I want to see the property. Maurice said he doesn't want, they keep saying that I'm a dictator and that I'm just going to come in and criticize. Well, that's what you do. And I know that's what, I don't feel like Jalen wants you over there because Jalen don't really like you like that. And now that he's grown and he's, matured some and he's looked back at it, he's been holding it in this whole time. Then he had to deal with, his mother fighting cancer. And I feel like Maurice then just became a non-issue. Now Kimmy is in a better place. Her cancer is in remission. And so now he's pretty much like, I'm going to just let this clown know exactly how I feel about him. Stop over here acting like you're my father figure because you're not. If you want to know the truth, I'm closer to your brother. And I mean, I halfway feel like Jalen said that because he knows it gets under Maurice's skin. I don't think he sees Marceau as no father figure either. Honestly, I think he sees them as the Scots and knows them for their worth. Maurice is over here defending himself from the things that were said about him. So everything that Kimmy and Marceau said to Maurice, now he's come over here and called Jalen over here to defend that. He's not over here to listen to what Jalen feels like. He wants y'all to know that he did not favor Monster. So once he gets y'all to understand that he's right, you're wrong, then there's really nothing else to talk about. He's telling Jalen that his feelings are wrong. I actually do feel like, I'm, you're my son. Just like, first of all, that's a lie. I don't believe it. I don't believe that you feel just as close to Monster as you do Jalen, or vice versa, just as close to Jalen. I don't believe that. If Kimmy been telling you the relationship is not the same, and when children require work to bond with, especially at that age. When they're teenagers, it's like, punching a brick. You need a hammer and a chisel. I remember I would be like, how was your day? Good. Communication is, has to be forced because they don't really want to be bothered with you. And especially if they don't know you and, it's a lot. Anybody with a teenager in their house, and then you bring another person in when it's just been, him and his mom, and instead of him working hard to build some type of relationship, not my new dad, just my friend. You're 13. He's 13 or 14. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm throwing a number out there. I'm assuming that Jalen was, close to teenage. I feel like I heard Marceau say 13. That's probably where I got it from. But you have to work to build a relationship. You not coming in as his dad, not in the beginning. And clearly you failed that task. But you came over here to tell Jalen you turned out fine. So I did not fail. I did a great job. I feel like this conversation is a little too late. I don't know what the expectation is for Jalen. Jalen is a grown-ass man. Like I said, he knows exactly who Maurice is. And so, I mean, no matter how much Kimmy smiles and talks softly and that baby talk thing she does and tries to convince everyone that what we saw Maurice do or what we heard Maurice say is not, it's not really like that. Like Maurice presents this way, but that's not really what it is. Like, okay, we don't believe it, and Jalen don't either. And then Jalen's here to let him know like exactly how he feels. He's taking a job in Colorado. So he's like, let me get this off my chest before I leave here. Um, they can handle the family business without him. I don't think that what business is it? What business is it that he has? What business is it that he runs well? We know they do real estate. We know that Kimmy, I guess she's not a nurse at all anymore. And she had something to do with food delivery service or whatever. Kimmy had things going on. Now she's got this restaurant. That's her thing. So what exactly is the family business? And Monster don't really want to talk to him at all, let alone do a business. Anything he asks Monster to do, Monster, he gonna call his mama and be like, can I come back over there now? Because they're over here trying to make me be a businessman. I don't want to, not with them. Don't blame him. Anyway, I'm hoping we don't have to have this conversation anymore. Jalen gave us exactly what we've been asking for. We know that Maurice ain't shit. He ain't shit husband. And he ain't shit stepfather also too as well. Trish goes to visit Nell, her cousin that she didn't know up until now. But these two ladies are over here and they need allies. Nell invited Trish over to the daycare to see if she's an ally. That's what I think. I think Nell is over here. Kimmy and Tisha are solid. They're Scott's wives, and they're going to be bonded together as such. And now that there's no more Melanie Cherie over here, we got to figure out like who these friends are going to be. Nell doesn't have any, so she's got to count on Trisha. That sucks for her to be, an ally. Now what's the details of the Dukes and Boots party, the 38 special? Like, what are we wearing? I ain't gonna be able to have my elderly cakes hanging out in no Daisy Dukes. So I might have to figure something else out. I do have a cowboy hat, but even though I'm not an elder, my cakes is elder. And that looks good. So, she says she's not wearing no Daisy Dukes. She want to know who's gonna be there. Trisha says she invited everyone. And so now ask her, so everyone, meaning Martell and Marquez will not be there. And nobody bothered to invite Martell. So now, before Martell wasn't there because he couldn't be in the same room with Mel. And they kept choosing Mel, as they should have, to come to these events and not him. Now he's falling out with the Scotts. So he's still uninvited. Like Martell is still on the outs. And I'm not mad about it. Now feels like Tisha Scott, she gets tipsy and she starts a mess. And she does. Tipsy Tisha talk a lot. And she does, be up in the mess. Trish did not fall for that though. She was like, she's staying neutral pretty much. Trisha's not trying to be, I don't think, anywhere involved in any of that mess. So, yeah, she just stayed neutral. To Nell's point, though, I do feel like what we see on the internet always ends up being a big conversation. Social media happens when these cameras go down. And so then it has to be discussed. And usually it's discussed throughout the season. So honestly, I feel like that interview was something that should have been brought up. Because y'all have fallen out. Last time we seen them, they were down to Disney's Field Day event, and Martell was telling Tisha she was a hoe, giving it up in the back seat of somebody's car. He called her nasty. And then Destiny was over there helping him ambush the lady down to restaurants. So this all happened last season. And then Martell goes on with, Ariane. We're saying her name now, so I hope she's getting her residuals. But yeah, now he's over here on the internet doing an interview with Ariane and some lady. So yeah. Hey T. T, did you watch the show? Or are you just here to hang out? Oh we. Yeah, I think it's weird though to pretend like we're not having the conversation about uh the interview that Martell did with Ariane. We all watched it, so yeah. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense Tisha to come over here and act like that's such a out of the question conversation to bring up. It's weird to not bring it up. And I hate it when they do that because we just walk around going, how come they didn't say nothing about this thing that happened? And how come they didn't, so she did it. And Tisha was acting a little cagey about it. Trisha said maybe they just need to let their guards down and they'll be more transparent with each other. And I get that, letting your guard down, but this isn't me like asking you your business necessarily. It was on the internet. It was a big thing. He was over there. We know what he was saying about what their husbands was doing down to the credit one with them ladies signing NDAs and bending over chairs. They had what's her name? Ariane was hosting it. It was a whole big deal. The lady was down there talking about how she was smashing both the brothers. And then Tisha and Kimmy want to sit up here and act like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? You know what we talking about. Speaking of Martell, he meets with his mother. I guess to try to convince us that his mother is cool with Ariane. Child. See? Now he's not invited to anything, so now he has to be down here with his mother, who drinks Coca-Cola with her breakfast. They were down to a breakfast place. I like Coca-Cola. I'm just saying, do y'all drink Coca-Cola with your breakfast? I'm not judging. It just seemed like when he said breakfast, I was like, she didn't want a coffee or an orange juice or something. Jeez, we going straight to the Coke right at first thing in the morning with your eggs. Anyway. Martell is pretending to own investments properties. I don't believe him. T, can you investigate that? Do Martell own any properties in Huntsville, Alabama? Because I don't believe he owns no investment property, and I don't believe he owns the house that he lives in. Does he own that? I don't believe it. I don't think so. And so, in the way Martell does things, like the way he tries to prompt his mother, like instead of just saying, he has an investment property, he wants to say, well, it's the property that I own. We know that's Fred's property. Stop. Where's Fred? Fred don't want no parts of this. If y'all ain't got no bulldozers and no shovels, then Fred ain't coming because he really, I don't think, wants to be associated with Martell. And if Martell knows anything on you, it's not a safe space. Just stay where you at, Fred. Anyway. Now, his mother, he said he gonna put this lady in this house, in this investment property, because even though he has a side baby, I mean, he ain't on the side anymore, but when he was conceived, he was definitely on the side. He can have a side baby while he's married, but he cannot have the side baby's mama move into a house with him without a ring. He's divorced. He's not married. He's single. And he won't move the lady into his house. Is that weird? Does that make sense? It's been so long. It's been a really long time. They've been together a long time. It's got to be at least 10 years at this point. Hell, the little boy is about 4 or 5. He's unsure still. He's unsure after all these years if she's worthy of that ring. And his mama is pretty much, is it just me? I don't think Miss Marlene really see it for Ariane too much. He's trying to convince us that that's what it is. She said she had to adjust. Mel and the kids, that was her family. She missed her family. And they were her world until this incident happened. And I was like, well, what incident? Was it the divorce? Was that the incident, Ms. Marlene? Yeah, he do miss Melody too. He's talking about it's hard. It's an adjustment. What is he adjusted to? He's still adjusting. I feel like it's the easiest situation that he could ever have gotten himself into. He had Ariane over there in the cut at that apartment the whole time, pretty much half the time that he was married to Mel. And the Mel got on out of there and was like, have him, take him. He's all yours. Now he's not sure. He's not sure if she's wife material. I mean, she's wife material. That says a lot because she used to be a peasant. And I never thought it was right for him to call her a peasant, but this is what he thought of her. She went from a peasant to being, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. He doesn't talk to her in a way, about her in a way that he talks, that you would talk about someone that that you're in love with or that you care about. Like he's saying it like she's interviewing for a position. Maybe she is interviewing for a position. He talking about next time he get married, he don't want no lies. He want everybody to be able to trust each other. He ain't trustworthy. Shoot. And he's had people in front of her, in line in front of her. Sheree, he would came out there and Sheree was his public friend girl. Child, now he over here talking about he has to make sure. What did he say? He has to make sure that she, does all the things that she needs to be able to do in order to get that ring. He said, Martell that's how I wrote it in my notes, child. Martell thinks people blame Ariane for breaking up the marriage. And I'm like, that's not what we think. We think you broke up the marriage for sure. We do not blame Ariane for that. We blame Ariane for the disrespect she showed to the wife. Calling the lady, telling her to put the man on the phone. Like Ariane came through there and treated Mel like she was in the way. Hello, I'm married to this man and I got kids. We got 3 kids. At the time, 3. Then they start playing who gonna have his baby first. She would be online talking to fool. That's why we was judging Ariane. We know that your trifling ass is the one that broke up the marriage. And this the first time I heard him say it. Honestly, I was really trying to pay attention to how he said it. And he took somewhat credit for being the reason why, he said he did it, not Ariane. Because, we keep on hearing about how Mel cheated. It's not fun when you're the main chick. Speaking of, I wonder if she's going to be able to do those daily BJs that he requires, because he needs to make sure she's going to be able to do everything, be everything he needs her to be. And what he needed Mel to be is on her knees every day down there with the BJ. So I'm guessing, she the main chick now. That's her job. If she wanted to be over in that investment property that he's pretending to own, and she better, I don't know, get prepared. She need to speak to Britt Edie about, techniques and things, because she ain't got a ring. She don't cook. She don't clean. Let me tell you how she got this ring. She don't have it. She's got a little house to stay in. And he wants to put it out there that he's paying the rent. Might as well pay bills. I don't even believe he's doing that. Does she work? I don't know. I feel like there's some government assistance probably involved over there with that girl and her kids. That's why he can't live under the roof. If he living under the same roof, then she got to claim him on the groceries. They on TV. So she got to be on a low. I feel like Mama Martell, Miss Marlene, she still feels the way about Ariane as much as Martell is over there trying to convince us that she's being nice to this lady. She's like, she all right, she's nice. But the way she what did she say? How did she put it? She said all she went through to get it, she might as well do right. Over here breaking up my family. Mama Martell definitely feels like Ariane broke up the family. I don't think she's feeling it for that girl. And the way she said that little remark, as much as she did to get it, she might as well be good. Then she sipped on her Coca-Cola. Threw him a look like, I don't know. I don't know what this was supposed to be over here. Um, she asked him if he talked to Marceau, and she was definitely throwing shade. Was it just me? Because I felt like she was throwing shade the whole time. She was like, I guess, after that incident, I had to adjust. She does not feel happy about any of it. That was Martell trying to do. It felt like the same conversation they were having when he was trying to lead her what to say to the judge down to the courthouse. And she was like, not about to do that. Go down there and lie. And it felt the same way. She was like, not about to say, I'll say she's nice. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say I like her. I'm adjusting to her. Can you imagine? Even Mama Martell is probably looking at her like, this is what you threw away your marriage, your family for? Okay, child. She asked him about had he talked to Marceau. He said no, he haven't talked to Marceau. Apparently, he was looking for a phone call, an apology call from Marceau for lying on him. And I was like, nobody lied on you. You did exactly what he said you did. You was over there with Revenge P, and you were arrested for it. What did they call it? Something about harassment. Them texts messages was harassing. That's what the people said, and they were not lying about that. We sat here and watched you harass the lady. You harassed her on the show. She was walking to her car and was like, please don't walk with me. Please just stay your ass in here away from me. Show up at her house. Show up at the birthday party. He just think he could do whatever he want. So, yeah, nobody was lying on him. He said he did not want to do that interview with Ariane, but he was pushed into a corner. They kept saying lies about him, and he had to retaliate. And you don't want to be saying stuff about me when I got a lot of dirt on you. I mean, I guess. I don't even know what his dirt actually would do, because these ladies, Kimmy and Tisha, have shown us that no matter how much dirt is thrown in their direction, they're going to keep dusting it off and pretending like they don't see. Maybe that's why they don't see, because they got dirt in their eyes. We don't even care, but I don't really care to hear anything that Martell has to say about the Scotts, to be honest, because it's so old. It's so old. Whatever dirt you have is so old, it don't even matter anymore. It's time for this party. They all in there taking pictures in front of the picture of Ken, because they can't even see Trisha. She's just like, I thought it was her birthday. Yeah, it's her birthday. But you got the Incredible Hulk in the picture. So, they stood in front of the picture, and then Trisha was gone. It was just them with the picture of Muscle Man Ken. Ciao. Ken is full of it. He thinks we don't see it. Ken, we see you. You over here trying to play man of the year. You're not. Trish showed up in an ice skating costume. What was wrong with the outfit? Like, I get that she wouldn't want to be wearing the same outfit that she had in the pictures, but why would she put on an ice skating outfit with a cowboy hat? Trisha. Oh, you should call Tisha's stylist. Tisha looks cute. So did Kimmy. I like Kimmy. Kimmy's thing is these coats this season. I like the coats. Ken wore the same shirt that he had in the picture, but he just changed it into a halter top. And we need more shoulder. When he was looking at the pictures, he was like, it's cool, but you can't see my traps. I need you to be able to see my traps. So I need to cut the sleeves off a little bit more. Now he's wearing a flannel sleeveless halter top to the birthday party with his too tight pants on, because apparently the way his thighs and his arm muscles work, the clothes be struggling. He might need to invest in some of them lycra jeggings. He needs some jeggings so he can fit his thick old thighs up in there. So, you know how they do. They show the people kind of pretend having fun, dancing around. We don't know what they was listening to. Probably the Boots on the Ground. I didn't see no line dancing, so they probably wasn't listening to Boots on the Ground. Not yet. They heard it at least once during the night, but after the ladies, it's time to have the conversation that we've all been waiting for. Not really, but here we go. They sit down, and Tipsy Tisha wants to know what's up with you and Ken. I feel like you have one foot in and one foot out. Now, Tisha, is this you asking questions about people's business? You can't ask these kinds of questions and then don't want people to ask you. Nobody did an interview about how Ken was bending women over chairs and things. Tisha, ain't none of her feet in. Her feet not in, her arms not in, and her paperwork ain't in. Down to the courthouse where they waiting on the divorce settlement. They're not even fighting over things. They're fighting over, I don't know what they're fighting over. Not getting a divorce. You got one foot in and one foot out. Trisha defends it. She said both of her feet are in. Nell says she's in. She's ready to get married. Nell said that. Trisha didn't say that. Trisha just sat there on mute, nodded her head, talking about mm-hmm. Now, if you ask her about Marcel, she's gonna flip out because she's a little bit tipsy. Meanwhile, across the room, the guys are questioning Ken about Marquez, but I'm assuming the last thing they heard was that you had to physically throw this man out of your house. Maurice said he's the bad guy. I don't know why he would be considered the bad guy necessarily. Maurice, shut up. You're the bad guy. Odd timing because I wasn't talking about her relationship. They were not. They were sitting there having a good time, and then out the blue, Tipsy Tisha wants to be asking about. I feel like they've also had that conversation already. Why are we going back to that? Tisha, you was upset with Nell, so why are you attacking the birthday girl? Jeez. The guys are questioning Marquez. He was like, okay. These are the type of guys that I really feel like I need to be taking any advice from, because even though, I know I got with her when she was married, and I'm like, and she's still married. She's still married. And as much as I hate to admit it, like, what do they say? A clock is right at least 2 times a day. Maurice is a point. If anything happened to Trish, God forbid, Marquez would be the one making decisions because legally he's her husband. And you can get down to a courthouse and talk about, or to a hospital or what have you. You can get down to anywhere where decision making needs to be happening and talk about, what do they call it? Common law. You can't be common law if one of the people in the common law is legally married to somebody else. And if anything, Trisha should think about that. Take Ken out of this scenario, because I don't feel like Ken should be bullying her into getting married anyway. But think about that, Trish. If something happened to you, Marquez will be making the decisions because he's legally your husband. Y'all signed paperwork, ain't nothing final. So ain't nothing final. It is what it is. They just gonna look at it like y'all should finish what you started. Back at the table, Nell tells Kimmy and Tisha that they're not transparent. I want them to stop saying transparent. It's irritating me. We need to add that to the list of things that people should stop saying. I don't feel like I need to be transparent to anyone that I don't want to be transparent to. I tell you what I want you to know about me, period. Y'all ain't even cool yet for them to be being transparent. The question that Nell asked wasn't about necessarily anything personal. It was about that stupid interview that Martell did. Kimmy talking about she didn't watch the whole interview. That's a lie. And Tisha says she didn't watch it at all. And that's also a lie. That's what Nell is talking about. You can't tell me. Let's take a poll. If somebody has an interview that they put about my man on YouTube about all the nefarious things that he was doing behind my back, I'm going to turn it off. You got me effed up. No, I'm not. I'm watching the whole thing. And then I'm going to conduct an interview of my own. Now, I might not get any real information, but you know when your man lying. So she'll be able to tell which part is the truth and which part is, I don't know. I'm just saying. Marcel went out the country without his wife. So, anything, he's got time to do things that she knows nothing about. Mel told her a long time ago to pull up. If you want to know what your husband is doing, Pull up. She knew better than that. And I don't suggest you pull up either. I don't suggest you ever pull up unless you're ready to do something about it. If you're going to pull up, find out the information and stay with the nigga, then don't pull up. Please don't. Kimmy is like, I don't know what you want us to say. Y'all keep, what did you keep, do you want us to admit that our husbands are cheating? Nobody even said anything about cheating. They don't want to know. They don't want to know. And they keep using this excuses. They don't have any evidence of anything. Kimmy's like, I have not met any one person that has any information, about cheating. Nobody asked you about cheating, though. She asked you about the interview, which I feel like I said, it's weird not to talk about it. That's all I'm going to say. Tisha's still saying if I would have dealt with any infidelity in my marriage, then I would say something, but I haven't. I think that's the thing that irritates people about Tisha when they're saying she's not being transparent, and you don't have it because, like T said, you don't want to know. You're ignoring it. We've seen pictures of this man's back. What else? We've seen a lot of things about Marceau. That was coming for Marceau like real hard in the beginning. At the end of the day, it's Huntsville, and I feel like in a town like Huntsville, people know people, and you probably have pulled up, drive by, heard something, seen something, but you just go ignore it. So, that's not being transparent. Now, that's not something I would expect to share with somebody either. But, y'all brought up the cheating. She did not. Trish says she's an open book. And now that's laughable, Trish. We know you're not. You're a lot of things. An open book you are not. They do a whole flashback to her and Martell when they met each other, how she was stammering over that. Marceau confronts Chris about the NDA comment. Chris is a liar. Chris Fletcher is a lying liar who lies. He's just as bad as the rest of them. He denies that he even said anything about that. And I'm like, we sat there and watched you say it. And I feel like you said it. I don't know why you said it, to be honest. Like, why? You didn't have to bring them in that conversation. It took place with him and Mel were having a conversation about him being around when Martell was cheating. I don't know if she brought up NDAs, but I feel like he was the one that said that's more something that Maurice and Marceau would do. We saw what we saw, Chris. Whatever that explanation was that you gave that didn't make no type of sense, your remix was not remixing. We saw you say it. And so, it had came up and somebody has said, we don't want to hear about that. We know what you said. And you said that the men be having people sign NDAs. And, Marceau's like, well, would that work? Clearly it does. Clearly it does, because the only person that's gotten himself into trouble is Maurice out here, And I feel like people are judging y'all's marriages based on the things that y'all have said. Kimmy, when he got that DUI, you said you went straight over to Credit One or wherever he worked to his office because you thought he might be sleeping there. My man don't come home. I'm pretty sure I don't think he's at the barbershop. That's not what I would be thinking. If it's like the middle of the night and I wake up, I'm not going to be like, let me go to the barbershop and see just in case he fell asleep there. No. I'm going to be thinking what any other woman would be thinking. She said nobody could give an example of what they mean by transparent. Yeah, they do. It's a joke to all of them. They're in on it. Who's in on it? You mean all the men? I feel like all the men definitely know what's going on. So do Tisha and Kimmy. I don't even know that Tisha and Kimmy have had a conversation with each other necessarily. I feel like they just, stand stern on, y'all don't know nothing. Y'all haven't seen nothing. If you've seen something, please tell me. Well, the lady did. On Martell's interview, she said that she was smashing both of them around there to the credit one. That's what she said. And if that's the information that you were looking for, is right there. And you didn't call the lady of that, as if men will screw a hole in the wall. So we're not gonna act like the lady. You know what I'm saying? And shoot, in the eye of the beholder, because Ariane was over here calling y'all linebackers. So Maurice did a DUI. He got sex addiction. That's on him. He said he was having sex with 6 people in a day. That's why he didn't have time to make no relationship with Jalen. Shoot, he was out here in these streets. That right there is an issue that you know really should be addressing, Kimmy. It's a lot worse things going on than any. I mean, for Marceau to go all the way to Africa and for Tisha, for Tisha to sit up there and defend it. I mean, I feel like at that point we were all like, okay, girl, whatever you want. We can't prove that that's Marceau's back, but it sure looked like his back. And you know it. And even then, you're like, what? I wasn't even online when that had happened. I ain't been online in a long time. That's what you said when his back picture showed up. But then here come your mama. We supposed to be crazy. Tipsy Tisha decided she wanted to confront Chris about the NDA comment. Why is she doing that? She walked over there. She got his finger on his face. Miss Nell was like, no, we're not. We're not doing that. You could back up. We're not putting fingers in his face. So Chris told her he don't have to answer to her. I agree with that. Tisha, what is that even? The men had already had that conversation like men generally do. And you to walk over here and expect this man to say what to you? And Marceau let her go on for a minute. And then he finally, calmed her down, told her to, relax. We already handled it. So that's how this episode went. We ended it at the birthday party. So conversations were the same as last week. We had conversations about Jalen. Jalen is leaving. What's the name showed up? Lance. Lance showed up to the party. Martell wasn't invited. Marquez wasn't invited. Where is Destiny? Is she still out in the TikTok streets? I didn't go look for Destiny on TikTok this week. If that was Marquez, what? What was Marquez? Please enlighten me. Because he's funny. He wasn't at the party. Why isn't Destiny at the party? I'm curious. I thought she was cool with Trisha. Jesus. I thought Destiny and Trisha were cool, and Trisha was training her. She don't look like she's still exercising. She just wearing unflattering clothing. Next week, Nell offers to stay with Lance. Now, he said he's tired, he's exhausted, he's overwhelmed. From what? Not from waking up in the middle of the night with that baby that you kept a secret from everyone, with that lady that you've been dealing with for 5 years or so. Cut it out. And she offered to go stay with him. Why? Instead of Chris. What, with the finger in the face? I'm confused. You said if it was Marquez instead of Chris, it would have went down. Marquez is not invited. That's why he wasn't invited, because it would have went down. He don't have no good sense. Why in the world would Nell be volunteering to go stay at her son's house 2 or 3 nights a week? To do what? What is going on with that? I guess we're going to find out. Chris isn't going for it anyway. He said, yeah, if we do that, if we always stepping in, then when are you going to take responsibilities as the adult? Is Is Lance the golden child over there with the Fletchers? Is he the one? Is he the monster? Is he the Maurice? Is he the one that gets treated special? Because Chris act like he don't get treated special. Chris, I don't know what's going on with him and his baby mama. Um, I guess we'll see. It's kind of weird the way they might as well just do away with Martell. They might as well do away with Martell because if him and Destiny are going to be just filming together in various places around Huntsville to, I don't know, discuss things that aren't actually true, I don't really need any of that. So look at here. Melanie's gone and Martell still has nowhere to go besides down to the diner, have breakfast and coat with his mother. And Destiny, let's see that storage unit, girl. We want to see the renovations. We want to see the expansion. So in the meantime, y'all, like the video, subscribe to my channel. I'll be back next week with some more Love and Marriage Huntsville. Hopefully, we won't be having this same conversation. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Ready to Love. I'll be here. Hopefully, you'll be here too. And till then, bye, y'all. I'm out of here until